Hello everyone. Today our guest is Miss Sharmila Chand. She wears a lot of hat. She is a senior journalist, a communication specialist. She has been an author and a columnist in various newspapers and magazines. She has been guest faculty at Mass Communications Institutes and also the Hotel Management Institute, that is our institute. So she's gonna be teaching some communication skills courses, and today we gonna be she will be giving a small talk on communication tips for front office team in hospitality industry. As a guest contact point, every professional in hospitality front office or guest contact point should be expert in communications. So over to you, Miss Chan.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Manish. Hello, listeners. As hospitality industry is a very dynamic and very, very vast field, I would like to focus on one department in one session. So as Mr. Manish has already mentioned, that I will be focusing on the front office. So I want to discuss the communication tips for the front office team, which will help them to have a very good engagement with the guests, have a lasting impression with the guests, and also have a good rating for the hotel, which is actually the ultimate goal of every hospitality professional. I want to start with the first point. And the first would be how the moment the guest enters the hotel, how you greet the guest. Now, when he enters the hotel, his luggage is taken care of. And the first thing he does is that he walks towards the front office desk. Now, this is the point where you have to be very careful. I have seen from my own experience, 90% of the time, the person who attends the guest is looking at his computer screen. Now, this is the biggest blunder. Now, you have to give a break, look up, you have to give a smile and greet the guest. You may be very busy on your computer, there must be something very urgent, but still you can at least look up, greet the guest and tell the guest to wait for a second if your work cannot wait. Ideally, you should not be doing the work on the computer. But still, if it cannot wait, you call your colleague who could be on the same counter and let that person handle the guest, or let that colleague handle your work and you attend the guest. So that's something which is very important, and it is very irritating if you keep looking at your computer screen and you say, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute, ma'am. The person has come all the way to your hotel, and the first point of contact, if he or she has to wait, and he's only looking at your face, when will you get free? Believe me, we don't take this thing seriously, but this is very crucial. The second thing is that you come out of your counter and come and stand next to the guest. You know the name of the guest, so try to use the surname of the guest with the correct title. Now, this is a very, very important communication tool. The moment you use the surname and the title and then talk to the guest, it gives a personal touch. It leads to a personal engagement, and you will see how nicely the guest will reciprocate. There is the third point now. Instead of asking the guest to do the check-in formality straight away, you can give him an unexpected offer. And what is that offer? You tell the guest, come, let's go to the restaurant and have a cup of coffee, or why don't you order something and have something to eat, and on the side, we will do your sign-in for the check-in formality. Believe me, this will work wonders. In big cities and five-star hotels, normally they have started doing this, but in tier 2 cities, it matters a lot. And here I can give you, Manish, I can give you my personal example. From my own experience. I had once gone to a tier 2 city and my flight got delayed. So I was like, by the time I reached the hotel, it was 10:30 p.m. in the night. Now, I reached the front desk, and you will not believe there were three front office members at the desk with two chefs. And they didn't know I had come to review the hotel. Though I'm a senior journalist and I review hotels when I reach the hotels, they know that. But this particular property did not know that I had gone as a journalist to write about the hotel. I was so pleasantly surprised to see. And then I asked them, I said, why do you have the chef with you here? They said, ma'am, yours will be the last order. If he doesn't take your order and prepare your dish, you will not have anything to eat. Mm. And in this city, you will not get anything decent after 10:30 because it was not a very big city. So these things matter a lot. So what did we do? We gave a genuine smile. We greeted the guest. You come out of the counter. You offer the guest to come to the restaurant. Maybe the buffet is going to get closed. Maybe it is the last order, or maybe the guest is so worked up, so exhausted after the travel that a cup of coffee will really make wonders to him, and he will be in a position to be in a positive mind, and for the rest of the stay, you will have good engagement with the guest. So this is from my personal experience. And Manish, I will give you the extreme experience, the other experience. I went to Macau about 2-3 years back. And there, after checking in, again, we reached late in the night. After checking in, first of all, they insisted that you spend half an hour in the lobby, wait in the lobby, then do the check-in and everything. You have to give your card, and they will not let you even go to the room and fresh. So all that's done. Once I settle down in the room, I call up the hotel room service and I asked them that I would like to eat something. They said, you will get only tea and coffee. The restaurant is closed. Oh, so, you know, it is such an extreme, and that's where you realize that Indian hospitality is truly Atithi Devo Bhava. We work with our heart and soul. It is not a plastic smile on our face. We genuinely want our guests to be happy. So this is very important for front office team to have a good communication right from the point A. We have only reached point A. Now, what is the number 2, which is very important? Once you're talking to the guest, suppose the guest says, no, I'm fine. I don't want to eat anything. I'm okay. And I'm quite, I'm not exhausted. It's all right. No coffee, nothing to eat. You tell me, what can I do in here? So now here, the catch is how friendly you get with the guest. It is very important that you don't get over friendly and you don't be very straight and curt, because both the extremes will not lead to a very pleasing situation. So you have to maintain a balance. Now you start talking to the guest, and then comes another very crucial communication point, which one has to remember: your tone of talking. You have to maintain a balance in your tone. It should not be very high pitched. It should not be very loud. It should not be shrill, and it should not be very rude. You have to be soft, gentle, pleasing, something which is music to the ears of the guest, as they say. Oh my God, the way he talks, because that guest will become your fan for the rest of his or her stay. Every time they will come down to the front desk, they will ask for you, because you have engaged him in a relationship. And that goes a long way to create a good impression. He will go back and tell many people, or maybe he comes back and he will look for you because you are so pleasing in your talk with him. So that is the communication scenario: how you greet the guest, how you talk to the guest, how you offer the guest an unexpected offer of tea, coffee, or something to eat, which the guest is not expecting. And then someone from your team can escort the guest to the room and complete the check-in formality of getting the ID, of signing, whatever, payment, and whatever has to be done. Now comes the second important point. You should know your product, your property very well. If you're ignorant, you will not be confident. And confidence is something which is very important for good communication. If the guest asks you something, you should have it on your tips about every nook and corner of your property, about the services of your property, about the facilities in your property should be on your fingertips. You cannot give the excuse, oh, I just joined 3 days back, I don't know. I will give you, Manish, I will give you another example from my own experience.
Yeah.
I've taken a Spanish friend of mine to a spa resort. Now, when we reached the front desk, this friend of mine didn't have much time. She was there only for the evening. So we knew that their spa was well known. So I asked the front office boy, can she go for the spa straight away? He said, okay, let me find out what are the timings of the spa.
Oh.
Now, this is the blunder.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying that, let me find out the timings of the spa, he should have jumped and said, okay, let me get you the first available slot at the spa.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the right communication because this is positive communication. The moment you say, I go back to you after checking with the spa head or the spa director, means 10 minutes gone. Escaped from that point, and maybe by then the guest loses the interest.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you will say, oh, he's going to check and it will take time. Forget it. Let's go out and do something else. Maybe the guest goes to some another spa outside.
Correct.
You have lost revenue. You have lost the interest of your guest, and you have created a bad impression. So it is very important for you to know your property, your product, services, and facilities very well. There is no excuse to that. Now we come to the third point. What is the third point? The third point is that you should know the location and the city of your hotel very well. This is very crucial and very important again. Why? Because if the guest comes and tells you that I'm coming to the city for the first time, can you tell me, is there a decent coffee shop nearby? Now, you cannot say that, oh, I'm not from this city and I really don't know. I will check with my colleague. No. Even if you have joined the office a day before, it was your duty to first find out where you are located. You should be the GPS for your guest. They should not be looking at any map. You should be the GPS. And then you will be able to tell so many things to the guest. So we come to the next point. Understand the needs of your guests. Suppose the guest has come with kids. Now, if you know your location, if you know your city, you will give the guest some guidelines and you will say, can I suggest in the evening you take your kids to this place? It's a very kids-friendly place and they will really enjoy. They have just opened and they've got good games. It's kids friendly and they will really enjoy. Why don't you take your kids in the evening there? Or if you see the guests are senior citizens, you can give them a surprise, give them an entry ticket to a nearby history museum or a nearby park.
Yeah.
So these, before the guest asks you, you give them a surprise. You keep some entry tickets with yourself.
So you
this
preempt.
entry invitation which you're giving to the guest is the souvenir.
Yeah.
He will always keep that souvenir that, see, I never asked him. Again, I will tell you from my example, because what tips I'm giving are not from any training manual, because all the hospitality professionals go through rigorous training classes. They have manuals and they have these sessions. But whatever I'm giving tips are from my experience as a guest of the hotel. So it's a first-hand experience. And as a communications specialist, I can put the two together.
Yeah,
right?
Correct.
Now, I'll give you my example. I had gone to another small city. I wanted to go to a temple and not miss the evening aarti. So that temple was known for evening aarti, for which I had gone specially to this city. I asked two boys at the front desk. They said, we will check and let you know. After that, they disappeared.
Ah, maybe their duty
Now,
ends.
you know that you're located in a city which has a famous temple. Why didn't you check earlier and
Hmm.
have the timings in your schedule? Instead of saying that let me check, the person should have said, ma'am, you better hurry up, you will miss it. I
Hmm.
will I will give you my team member to escort you, and there we know somebody who will help you in the temple. This also people do in the hotels.
Hmm. Hmm.
That also,
Hmm.
that they have 3-4 people who
Hmm.
are putting the guest to a particular park or a temple or a museum and
Yeah.
assist the guest the same. So these are the things, because ultimately, Manish, what is communication? Communication is just a tool. It is a skill which you have to work on. You are not born with good communication. So if a person says, I'm a very poor communicator. No, you're a poor communicator because you have not worked upon yourself. You have
Correct.
not worked. You have not worked to master your craft. You've not
Yes.
done anything.
Yes.
And I will come to how you can do it. I'll come to that later. So now we have dealt with understand the needs of your guests. If it's the guest is FIT, the
Yeah.
independent
Individual.
traveler,
Hmm.
you have so much scope to get the guest back, to make the guest regular, because this guest is only traveling to explore, to have very, very fresh and out of the world experiences.
Yeah.
So there is so much scope for you to give him good experiences, you know, and suggest very good ways of keeping that guest engaged.
Correct.
Now, if the guest has got kids, you can always suggest that we have a special pool for the kids. We have a special snacks bar for the kids. Or we have a special menu for the kids. Why do you expect the guest to spend time exploring this in your property? You be the communicator to the guest about this. This is good communication, that when you're not wasting any time of the guest, otherwise the guest will wait till the evening. And how will the guest find a chef or a restaurant F&B person? He's not going to enter the kitchen. He's not going at the back of the restaurant. You're the only face of the hotel for the guest. You're the only face. So it
Yeah.
is your duty.
So it's a one-stop solution.
One-stop solution. So it is your duty to inform the guest about the facilities for senior citizens, about the facilities for the kids, and maybe there is a very good cooking demonstration session in the evening. Now you should be able to engage the guest in the conversation so that you get to know that the guest is a foodie, and
Yeah.
invite the guests to this cooking session and say, we have an international expat chef in our property. He will be conducting a cooking demonstration in the evening. Would you like to join?
Yeah.
That means you again engage the guest in one new service of your hotel. And that is very crucial. So these are the various ways of engaging the guest, having a good communication with the guest, and having a lasting impression with the guest. Because ultimately, what is your goal? To engage the guest in a positive manner so that there is a link between you and the guest. There is no other way the guest can know. Maybe you have an executive lounge. Now, how to tell the guest about this lounge? Which floor is it? What are the rules? What time the guest can go there? What are the complimentary things in the, why should you expect the guest to go and find out in the lift how to go, where to go, which floor is the executive
Yeah.
lounge?
Yeah.
I feel that this is also very important. So, Manish, now from my experiences, I have said these 5 points are the crucial points. How you greet the guest, know your property very well, know your location very well. You should be the GPS, and know your guest very well. If the guest is a regular one, then you should be able to tell the new upgraded facilities of the hotel. And when he checks in or she checks in, you should be telling him, last time when you came, we know that you liked that particular coffee brand. This time we've got that brand in your room already placed. Or you like Lebanese food. We have already asked the chef to prepare something Lebanese for you for today evening. So please
Mm.
don't eat out. You must check out what we have prepared for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They will know that, see, last time I came, I told them I like Lebanese, and this, they have the record, and they will feel very good about it.
Correct, correct.
They're prepared of tea, coffee, food, and also you can tell them about your home theater, that we know that you spend some time in our gaming room or in our gym or in our home theater. We have upgraded the facilities, so why don't you go and enjoy? So that is, with the regular guest you can do so much, and make sure that he comes back to your hotel again.
Correct, correct.
So these are the ways, the front office team can engage with the guest. Now, what are the takeaways from this session? I don't want to make it very boring and very long. I want to give quick takeaways from what we have discussed so far. First takeaway is how you greet the guest. Have a genuine smile, use their surname with the correct title, and your body language should be such that it gives a positive impression. Your tone should be such that it is pleasing to the ears. As they say, communication is all about 7 C's. I'm sure all the students go through this in their training module.
Yeah,
What are those 7 C's? Clear, concrete. You should be very concise. These are the 7 C's in the communication module. So you have to make sure that you keep your tone very, very balanced. It should not be shrill. It should be soft. It should be gentle. Now, how do you work on maintaining, on having a good tone? There is a very, very nice and simple rule to that, which we all go through it. As I said, you're not born to be a good communicator. You have to work on it. And how do you work on it? You go to your corner, you be by yourself, and record your conversation. Ask a question to yourself and give an answer and record it. First few recordings you do audio for your voice modulation, and then the next recordings you do video. And then you see how good you're looking, how balanced your tone is. Believe me, you will get a lot of confidence,
mm,
and you
mm.
will up your shell and be a good communicator. This is the only way. You cannot
Practice.
copy you cannot copy your colleagues.
Yeah, correct.
Their ways are their ways.
Yeah,
You have your own style, and work on your style by just being in front of the mirror and recording your videos and audios, and see after every 2 days, you see how well you're improving. That is a very good way to improve yourself.
yeah.
You will be clear in your tone, and you will have a very, very uh, a coherent way of talking.
Correct, correct.
And if you don't do that, believe me, you will not be confident in your talking. So that is the first takeaway, that you greet the guest and
Yeah,
you maintain
the
voice
tone.
modulation.
Hmm.
And then the third is gain knowledge and information.
Product knowledge
If
and destination knowledge.
if you don't have knowledge and information, you will not be confident in talking. Because ultimately, you have to communicate something. Communication is what? Communication is giving information and gaining information. So it
Yes.
is, unless you know yourself, you will not be confident in your approach in talking, in your approach towards the guest. So you will see that you will be a much happier person if you have gained knowledge and you're able to communicate, because you are already full of knowledge. So you know that you are confident that you are not wrong. You are not fiddling around. Otherwise, most of the time you say, "Excuse me," and you're busy on your phone. That is not right, because you're trying to escape, because you don't know what the guest is asking. And then we come to another very important takeaway, which is, how much should you talk to the guest? You should not be over friendly, and you
Over
should not
friendly.
be, as I said earlier. Now, again, from my experience, I went to a 7-star property, and there, but every time the person from the front office would see me, they'll ask me, "How was your day? What are you going to do today?
Yeah.
What do you like?" Now, you ask once,
Yeah.
right? And if we wait for the guest to ask you
Hmm.
some question, or you ask the guest only one question: "May I help you with something? May I help you with something, sir? May I help you with something, ma'am?" Because what happens is they catch the guest in the lift and then they go on asking questions.
Yeah.
Is this first time in the city? How was your day? Where did you go? What did you eat? Believe me, it is
It's
very
too personal.
irritating.
Yeah, it's too personal.
It is not too personal, it is unnecessary talking, because the guest is exhausted. He's not interested in telling you how was his or her day.
Yeah, yeah. So the staff
Maybe,
should take a cue from the guest, maybe non-verbal communication like expressions that he is willing to talk or he is not willing to talk.
yeah. So, so it is very important. Now, how much you talk, and don't be over friendly. That's also a very important communication tool. Now we come to the next one. Next takeaway is motivate yourself.
Yeah,
Now, unless you motivate yourself, you cannot wait for others to inspire you. The key to your power inside you is in your hands. It's up to you when you switch it on. You can't always say that, "No, no, no, my English is not good, my Hindi is not good, I'm from so and so state, so I'm not very good." Language is only one tool of communication. You can communicate only even with the very pleasing body language without talking. But when you gain knowledge, then you are interested in talking. So it is very important that you motivate yourself to gain knowledge. That's a very important takeaway.
and practice it.
Yeah, and then we come to the next one, that don't copy or don't try to be like your companions or your friends or your colleagues, because their success and failure is theirs. It will not take you anywhere. What you have to do is to work on your craft and come the best to your work. Bring the best of yourself to your work. That is most important.
Correct.
When you have already worked on 7 C's of communication, when you have worked on gaining knowledge and information, when you have worked on modulation of your tone in talking, there is no way that anybody can stop you from being a good communicator. And believe me, once you do this and you remember these takeaways, you will enjoy working and you will be a very, very happy person at work, without work.
Yeah.
And what is most important in life than to be happy,
Happy.
right?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
on this episode, we conclude today's session.
Yeah.
It is short, but we come back in the next session. We will focus on a different department of the hospitality industry. Till then, you have a happy life. Thank you,
Thank you.
Manish.